Yes.
Willie.
It's recording. Great. It's literally the first word of the podcast. We're just going to say that you call me Willie.
Okay, Willie.
All right. Right. Hello, this is the Edible Valley Podcast. My name is William Stringer.
And I'm Chef Jonathan Frazier, and today it's getting hot in here.
Welcome to the Edible Valley Podcast.
We want to invite you as we embark on a culinary journey through the heart of Vancouver Island
From the fertile fields,
to the pristine waters of the Pacific Ocean.
we'll explore the stories behind the food that nourishes us.
Tune in to each episode as we deep dive into the flavors, the traditions, and the innovations that make this a true paradise.
Now please join us as we explore our Edible Valley.
All right. With that slightly clickbaity title, do you want to make a very quick and urgent clarification?
It's getting really hot in here.
It is. It's hot out there. I'll tell you.
It is so hot out here. That's what I was thinking, Will, is that I was driving home today and I was like just sweating to death. And I was like, let's talk about food and staying hydrated and, you know, why we do this stuff, right?
Well, absolutely. Now, for context, it is the 9th of July, 2024, in the future to be known as the time when it got very hot, basically, this year.
It's our heat dome coming in here, yeah.
Now, my car, which was previously owned by a wonderful older lady, has a thermometer that read 100 degrees when I got in it early on.
Okay.
Yeah. Even when I was driving, it was 100. So it's very, very hot. But we are going to try and cool you down with some great, cool recipes.
Yeah, I just thought we'd throw out some ideas and just talk a little bit about how crucial it is to stay hydrated during this time, right?
100%. I mean, you really need it. Now, first of all, John, how's your week been?
My week's been pretty good, actually.
What have you been up to?
It's been very, very busy. Well, I've just taken on a new contract with North Island College, so I'm teaching...
North Island, NIC.
NIC. So I'm actually going to be teaching PC level 1, professional cook level 1.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to give you an in for this great news. That's a little clappy.
Yeah.
There. No, that's amazing. So, you know, you're a restaurant owner and now you're getting into the teaching side of things. How does that feel, kind of doing those two very different skill sets?
It's amazing to think about all the things that I have forgotten and the things that learning, and it's almost like learning over again, right? Like there's process in a restaurant that is so dictated by time and energy and that. And then at school, it's really about doing it, you know, not cutting those corners and making sure you teach the real proper way to do it. So it's a lot of me going back to the recipe books and the cookbooks and making sure that I'm doing it the right way instead of sometimes you cut some corners. And so I think it's really going to improve me as a chef, as well as I'm going to be able to catch some new people coming into the industry and really give them some advantages when they step into the industry.
Have you seen Connie from the Atlas Cafe up there at all? Now, she was one from the Atlas Cafe started in, I think, 93. Connie was an original member of staff, and she has been manager of the Atlas Cafe for the vast majority of his existence.
Yeah.
She's still there very regularly. She's part of the Atlas family, but she does now work at North Island College.
Yes, but we're 2 campuses too.
Oh, you're in Campbell River, aren't you? Well, that of course is. Well, good luck to Connie anyway.
Yeah, so sure.
You two are great mates. So it's very exciting.
So it'd be nice if we cross paths in the future here, and I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, the biggest thing has been now I'm up in Campbell River now, so it's a commute there. I'm still working with locals and helping develop. There's a brand new menu.
Doing the old ownership thing.
Let's go sell some locals right now. Locals at the old house. So like there's a new menu coming out in the next, probably next week or so.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Is that what the photo shoot was about?
So it's a little bit of the photo shoots, but this is a lot of just changing up the menu, getting more of a summer menu. We're a little behind on it. We sort of got caught behind.
Yeah.
We have our chef there. Andrew West, who's been working
Why is
on
that
this.
funny?
No, well, it's just funny that my phone just went off.
I knew that was why you were laughing, but I was kind of chucking you in.
And I'm like, I'm usually the guy who's like, make sure you turn off your phone, and I didn't do it today. Anyway, so that's working there. And the other big news is that the Rosé on the River, or the Midday Rosé, is back at Locals. So it's a beautiful time to come down, have a nice glass of rosé. It's a changing different bottle every couple days or whatever.
Rosé on the River?
Rosé on the River. A couple
Is it one
appetizer.
rosé? Is it an offer?
I believe there's 2 rosés. It's sort of like between 3 and 5.
Nice.
And there's a discount on it. And I don't know what it is off the top of my head because
That
I'm on
is
the
fine.
spot. But
Rosé
I
on the
recommend, if you want, there isn't a more beautiful spot than sitting down on the river in Courtney here.
Yeah. It's like an English country garden.
It's beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
And to have a nice glass of wine, I sort of invite everyone out for that for sure. So
Excellent.
That's my little sales plug for today.
We've got to go to Local. We haven't been to Locals for a little while, actually. And last time I ate like a 15th century king. Like, I was so full. And it was really good. So anyway, not just saying that.
Well, and
this
goes along with what we're talking about, is staying hydrated.
Yeah.
And it's looking into, like, why do we need to drink so much? And it's really to regulate our body temperature, right? Like,
absolutely.
It's such a huge thing, especially at this time, right?
What would you say the main thing was then in terms of food when the weather starts to heat up like it is?
Well, it's really sitting there and cooling down your foods, right?
Okay.
Like, let's start talking about, like, let's get into, I know I've been just selling rosé, but a lot of mocktails are great if you want to spice up your drinks and such. There's quite a lot of great beverages that you can add. A little bit of fruit to, add a little bit of some herbs to, just to add that extra little flair and that extra little excitement to it, right?
So instead of just saying drink a lot of water, which is great advice, let's be honest, but a little bit boring, you're saying you can actually really go really, really good on the mocktails.
On the mocktails, yeah. And that's one thing you should limit at this time. Limit your amount of caffeine, limit your amount of alcohol, right?
Really, caffeine as well?
Yeah,
I guess
caffeine
it's
as well.
dehydrating, isn't it?
It dehydrates you. Yeah. It pushes all those liquids right out. So just means you have to drink more. So why not stay hydrated, right? So, get into iced teas. There's so many great ways to make fresh iced tea. You can cut down your sugar content in a lot of those too and have a nice flavorful.
Should we do a spinny wheel if we've got a list?
We got a small list, so it's not really a spinny wheel.
Oh, no, I'm doing spinny wheel.
Okay, do the spinny wheel.
I've got the camera.
See, Will, now that we're filming this, and I don't know if people have been catching on that we're up on YouTube now, it's going to be a lot harder to do the spinning wheel.
I know. We actually need to. I was looking at buying a spinning wheel, and I think it's a great idea. But you have to make them.
I still like the sound effect.
We'll do it. We'll keep on doing that with the spinning wheel. Right. All right. Number 3.
Oh, so the other one I was working on was like talking about smoothies.
Oh, nice.
Right?
Okay. Oh, what a great idea.
Like getting some watermelon, cucumber, coconut water.
Yeah.
All those things being great flavors to you. You can puree them up, do them with a bit of ice in there.
Yeah.
Like, whether you want to add some cream or whatever. Yogurt. Boom.
Where would you go in the Comox Valley for a decent smoothie?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah. Now, I like, is it Raw Authentic?
Oh, yeah.
Downtown.
Well, are they still around?
Oh, did they go?
Yeah.
Bollocks, I got a gift card for them.
They used to be the place to go to. So
now, as a realtor, you see, we usually get a heads up. We all meet in Roller Page in the Comox Valley. Secret little plug there. We all meet on Tuesday mornings, and there was a given place in town, which I'm definitely not going to mention, that is going to be closing down at some point. And they say, and it's going to be a big surprise when it happens.
Right.
And they say, okay, get your gift cards, get them spent, because this is going to happen. And, that sucks when you're behind the curve. But anyway, that was a wonderful place. I mean, what do you think to Booster Juice? That's probably one of the most obvious.
Yeah,
it is franchisey.
It is franchisey, but it does give a nice little smoothie. And there's a lot of the coffee shops around town do a smoothie as well,
Very
right?
true.
So, and I'm not 100 up to percent on who's doing it, but I know there's a few places. I know we used to do great milkshakes at Blue Spruce Ice Cream. That was a
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite summer little treats.
Shout outs. Okay, let's right, spinny wheel, your turn, and you have to physically do it.
We're gonna go. Where was I gonna get into? Sodas but like kombucha and all that stuff.
Okay,
There's
good
a lot
sodas.
of good sodas.
Yes.
Yeah, staying away from some of the traditional ones because they're really high in sugar, which doesn't help you.
There's a no Pepsi zone.
Oh, no Pepsi zone. I always laugh. It's kind of funny when I was when I started off cooking. Like one of the perks of being a chef is being in there is that they always would bring you another glass of cola.
Pop, yeah.
And so you literally sit there online sweating to death, working for 10 hours and just drinking this stuff like it was water just to cool yourself down. And I can't believe what a change it was when I actually just reversed and started just drinking water.
Really?
And it was just, to me, it just changed me. It was like, it took
and
a
maybe
little bit.
electrolytes. What do you reckon to electrolytes?
Well, and that's, electrolytes are important. So adding a little bit of salt or, having a Gatorade or something like that just always bumps you up and gets you a fill of energy.
I forgot about that at restaurants where you've got, if you've ever worked in a restaurant, you will know you've got to keep the kitchen happy. Because they're going to keep you happy with the food later. And we used to go and get these enormous trays of drinks for the kitchen. And fun fact was, I would do we're actually in the studios of 98.9 Jet FM right now. I would do the weekend show here, and then I would go and do a night shift at the Atlas, and this is before I became a realtor, and it was the longest day in the world. And I would go at 6 o'clock, absolutely knackered, because when you're on air, you have to be on. You can't just be like, oh, hey, I can't be bothered.
Yeah,
like,
it's full out.
Right, okay, that was, and what do you do? So you turn up and you get at 5 o'clock and you're ready to get absolutely, excuse my French, shagged for the next 6 hours on a Saturday night in a restaurant.
Right.
And so I got into a bit of a Pepsi addiction. I was Diet Pepsi guy.
Okay.
And I would just have about 5 or 6 throughout service. And I know they're really, really bad for you, but my gosh, would they give you some power?
It would give you that little bit of caffeine and a little bit of sugar jolt to keep you going.
But I've totally given them up now.
Yeah.
I'm a kombucha guy if I'm going to have things, or just sparkling water with nothing else in it.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of caffeine in there too, which also will help dehydrate you a bit as well. So it's just those little things to think about. So.
Yeah. And they actually, if you're looking at bubbly as your way, bubbly's, I know you do buy bubbly, so I'm kind of chucking you out to the dogs here a little bit. But do be careful, because on the ingredients, there's something called natural flavors. Natural flavors is, I believe, it is relatively unregulated, but only a very small amount of the things in it have to be natural. And other things can go in there without it being natural and without them declaring it. So natural flavors is often a way of things being snuck in there. I'm not suggesting these folks that make bubbly are trying to do that, or it is, but I am advising you do exercise caution when you see the words natural flavors, or on the back of like shampoo and shower gel when it says parfum. That's the equivalent. That's the way of hiding things. Yeah.
And it's all about reading your ingredients, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It's always something about knowing what you're putting in your body. And just makes life a little bit easier.
100%. 100%. All right, spinny wheel.
Spinning wheel.
It's my turn, but we're going to give you that one.
No, we're going to give it to you again, because we're going to start a new section after this. Well, the one thing I just wanted to say is about, just adding a little fruit garnish or adding something to color and brighten up your drinks is always a great one too.
So,
right?
So you got that lovely summer fruit.
So you can put some fresh herbs in there, like a nice piece of mint to, like if you're thinking a mojito, right?
Yeah.
Like a non-alcoholic mojito, or adding a strawberry onto the top there, or a piece of watermelon.
Yeah.
Just to bring that couple raspberries in your drink.
Yeah.
Just going to refresh you, make you feel a little bit more lively, right? So
100%.
And hey, you'd rather eat fruit and get that little bit of extra that get your energy from that than from doing straight up sugar, right? So that's
absolutely, just that little slight touch of it.
Yeah.
And you can get that much easier if you buy things like certain water bottles that have the little holder for the bits of fruit, and it just gives it that little something else.
Of course,
that little tiny hit.
I love
Nothing
it.
wrong with that.
I love it. So let's move on from beverages, because I think that's one way. The other thing we can start talking about is keeping cold dishes and working with salads. So then working with making ingredients or meals that have a higher water content in that. So whether that's a salad or a cold soup or something like that, increasing your electrolytes. You can have like spinach and kale, citrus.
Is a cold soup a gazpacho?
A gazpacho is a cold soup.
Okay, they're one and the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, cool.
But there's many different cold soups that you can have out there, right?
So are all gazpachos cold soups?
Yes.
Are all cold soups gazpachos? All right, okay, that tells me everything. Let's not go there. We'll do
Chicken
one on
or the
soup.
egg, yeah. It's also, you know what? You can get yourself a lot of vitamins right now. And in this heat, we don't need a lot of carbohydrates, right? So
No.
that's where I'm looking for. But also, like during the temperature and the heat right now, you sort of lose energy, right? So you've got to still eat. You still got to keep active. So it'll help you. And if you take these ingredients, cool ingredients, they'll help cool you down from the beginning.
Now, this is practice for me because I'm going to Palm Springs in a week and a half, which, by the way, I've got to tell you, I can't do the podcast in 2 weeks because I'm in Palm Springs. It is currently 128 degrees.
Oh, my Lord. Yeah.
Yes, which is, I think, quite close to what it is on Mercury.
Yeah.
Reasonably. I mean, bloody hell.
I think it's hot.
Yeah, it's very, very hot.
We just have to say
So
hot.
I'm going to hit the Malibu like it's going out of fashion. Anyway, just had to chuck that in there. Are we ready for another spinny wheel?
Yeah, let's throw a spinny wheel down and talk about some recipes.
Number 2.
I'm going to throw out for you gazpacho.
Hey! Which everyone knows is a cold soup.
It's a cold soup, right? So, it's just a great soup. It gives you, all the benefits of having like tomato, cucumber, bell peppers, like garlic, olive, just a hint of vinegar. And then you can throw some bread in there, right? So that's a great one.
So obviously if you just got your usual cream of mushroom soup and didn't heat it up, it would probably be fairly rank. What kind of flavors are you looking for to make a cold soup taste good?
You want those bright, flavorful.
Okay.
Bright flavors, right? And so, like, if you look at like a gazpacho, right, you've got the tomato, cucumber, and the peppers. They've all got lots of moisture in them to begin with, right? So you've got something that you're using all the natural flavors, and it's going to thicken itself because you've got all the puree from the tomato and the cucumbers and that, and so it gives you a nice texture within the soup as well.
Wow.
Whereas with a mushroom soup, you're going to probably be thickening it with a roux and a starch.
Yeah.
And it gets creamy. And then if you're using a stock in there, it's a little gelatinous.
I get you.
So,
yeah.
And then let's spin the wheel again because I got more.
You're so excited. Go on.
Ding, 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 boom. As you say, I've been sticking to so a lot of like quinoa or pasta salads or even any kind of grain salad, right? Really great at this time. It's actually what I had for dinner tonight was a pasta salad.
Nice.
Cooked the pasta early in the day before it got too hot, cooled it down, threw it in the fridge, put a lot of sauce in it. Same with like if you were doing quinoa. And then, just some fresh vegetables in there, sort of the local garden stuff that's happening right now.
Yeah,
so we took a little bit of arugula in there, chopped it up with some tomatoes. What else did I have in there today? Put a little bit of feta cheese in there.
Oh, yeah.
And just mixed it all up and had a nice creamy dressing on it. And it was just nice. And it was filling, yet nice and cold, yet lots of moisture to it. There's some tomatoes in there, a little bit of onion.
The Old Farm Market do a vintage or an old feta, which I got. And it's quite a lot more dear, and you get a lot less for your money, although it looks like that. But it's been traditionally aged in a barrel in Greece. And wow, it's really good. Like we polished that off in 48 hours. We have it with eggs.
But that's the joy of cheese, right? Like, and especially that little bit of salt in there too. At this time, just adds a little bit extra to it, right? So for
Have you tried this, by the way, with eggs? A little bit off topic. It's food.
Okay, we'll stay with it.
You get some. This is unbelievable. Have you had halloumi before? I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
Halloumi is Cypriot cheese or squeaky cheese. Very delicious. It's cheese that you cook, and from Cyprus. And you're going to make some fried eggs. All right. So you put a little bit of oil in the pan, and then you get a lump of cheddar in your hand, and then you crumble it up around the edge of the frying pan. So you've got this rough circle, and then you leave it for about 3 or 4 minutes. The cheese starts cooking. Then you bung the eggs in there. cook them to the way you want it, and then serve it. And it's going to be slightly like an easy halloumi dish, or a cheaper halloumi dish, because feta is cheaper. And it will be the most delicious thing you ever have. We have it regularly. It really makes eggs pop.
And it's that first thing in the morning when it's nice and cool thing too, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the other thing is thinking about your meals at this time. Is like, what is it? It's not time to be cooking something hot. No. It's a great time to be barbecuing, right? If you can put it outside. So that's, throwing on some grilled vegetables, throwing on a steak, something quick and easy and light. And that's a lot of meals right now are just like having quick and easy, because you don't want to be really it's not time to be making pies and pastries and all that stuff, right? So
not a pie time of year.
No. So I'm jumping the wheel here, but like just a nice cucumber and watermelon salad, right? Like that's going to put energy, going to get you going in the day.
Those flavor combinations.
Fresh mint and some feta in there, a little lime juice.
Brilliant.
Love
it. Right. Spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel. Your turn.
How many more have we got?
I got a couple more.
Okay.
I could go on all day.
All right. We've got 2 more. All right. It's a digital wheel. Beep, 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 beep. Yeah, you didn't expect that, did you?
That was I don't know. We need to work on those wheels.
It's staying exactly as it is. We might get a physical wheel as well.
So we're going to jump into, let's just talk about cold noodle salad, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's one thing, like some nice rice noodles, like some vermicelli rice noodles, with some shredded carrots, shredded cabbage, maybe some bell peppers, cucumbers, a nice sesame soya dressing, nice and light. And then throw some sesame seeds on top of that. You're good to go. And if you got the barbecue going, throw a piece of chicken on there.
Job done.
You can marinate it up in some nice soya glaze.
How about like a bowl, like a Buddha bowl?
Well, that would be a great one. So that was like when I was talking about the quinoa salad. Yeah. What would be better than just filling a bowl with some quinoa, topping it with some cabbage, throwing some avocado, some tomato, all those great fresh ingredients on top of it. And then,
tasty.
whatever kind of protein that really, a couple prawns would be great. Yeah. Super quick, easy. Like this is the time also, think about fish, right?
Yeah. Oh, gosh, yeah.
It's a beautiful time. Spend the day out there fishing, come back in. Sear off a nice piece of salmon, throw it on there. Nice ling cod. You got
it's whatever you catch. I was going to ask what fish, but it's whatever you catch.
I would say that would be my conclusion on that.
All right, I'm going to give you one more.
One more.
You spin the wheel as well.
I love that we're getting videotape for this now, so now I just feel like a fool.
I get to see the... Oh, no, there's 2 cameras. We get to see the embarrassed look on your face.
So I was just going to throw out there, how about like a nice ice cream.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We talked earlier, but ice cream is like, this is the time for it.
This is the time. Right? Now, are you going to make it yourself or are you going to buy it?
You know what? If you're getting up early, I'd say make it.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing. If you have an ice cream maker, you pull it out of the freezer in the morning, throw your ingredients, like make it the night before or whatever, your base, whatever you're going to make, and then throw it in the ice cream maker, throw it in the freezer, and then when you get home from work, you got yourself a nice little treat, right? So.
Eva thinks I'm not getting an ice cream maker. The Ninja now do one. We kind of go through everything Ninja. I'm definitely... Now, I've been reading a book. I'll talk about this in another podcast, but it's called Ultra Processed People. And it really... You probably heard of the term ultra processed foods, UPF. And probably people think, processed foods, that's a bad thing. And the book argues, actually, it's not a bad thing. Processing is cooking and chopping. That's been happening for thousands of years. Ultra processed is, where do I even start? Read it. It is an illuminating book. But if you've ever, there's been stories of people going to certain places to get ice cream and then leaving it in their car when they've finished as much as they want to finish, and then the ice cream is still there when they get back.
Yes.
What is going into that? Well, I'll tell you what, if you read Ultra Processed People, you will not want to eat that because it's actually not funny. It's really, really bad for you. And it's being linked to, you name it, diseases.
Well, and that's what I would say when I started my little ice cream shop that I was involved with for that little while. Yeah. And I know a couple of the other places, like up in Cumberland, Loves Ice Cream. Yeah. They follow the same sort of principles for sure. Yeah. And they bring in, they work naturally.
And
they
it's
get
fresh.
Local ingredients and stuff like that. And I remember when I started the shop, I had a lot of gelato places There's restaurant and there's gelato, which I learned about. And that they're two different worlds. Everything is measured in different measurements, and
Really?
different equipment,
Which one did you
different
go with?
names. I went with ice cream. I didn't go with either. I stuck to restaurants because
Yeah.
that's what I know, right?
yeah.
And so, but I had the gelato people come in there, and a lot of the ice creams and gelatos were made with powdered milks, right? So and powdered products. So it was one of those ones that I was like, that's not how I wanted to do
Yeah,
it. I wanted to go as naturally as I possibly could.
Yeah.
There are some tricks. There are some ingredients that you can throw in there to stabilize it, like thickeners and stuff like that. But my goal was always to have as little as possible to make a nice product, right?
Yeah,
Which is possible. It's just a lot more work.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's a lot smaller batches, and so it's a lot harder. So so you can put a lot of stuff in. You can put stuff in a ice cream you can put it on the counter and it'll never melt for like 3 days because it's all full of starches and thickeners. So.
And I wanted to talk about this more in another episode, and we are already 25 minutes in, but the reason for it is to make profit. It is not to feed you. And you need to say that back to yourself a few times to really understand what that means. Because I heard it a few times and I was like, yeah, all right. It's kind of anti-capitalist kind of feel.
Yeah.
That is not at all how I mean it. It is food that is purely meant to make money, which there's nothing wrong with making money. But there is something wrong with you putting things in your body that you do not want because it's going to do you harm. And that's the point. The reason for ice cream specifically is because when it's made on such an industrial scale and then transported, there's constant temperature fluctuations when it's being dragged into the store, dragged into the truck, dragged out the factory. And so they need to add something into it that's not designed for you to eat. It doesn't help you add anything.
There's also things too, is you can identify a lot of products. I'm going to go off a little tangent here, but just seeing the frosting, seeing the ice crystals on top, like if you open up a batch of ice cream and there's ice crystals on top of there, and that's formed from thawing and defrosting and warming and stuff like that. So you can identify whether your product's been treated properly all the way along just by opening it up, or how long it's been in the freezer and stuff like that.
Freezer burn.
Get that little bit of icing on the top, as they call it. You can scrape it off. It's fine. It's just a little bit of sweating water that's evaporated up. But yeah, so it's a bit of a story. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. I know how I wanted to do it. My way was was doing it as simple as possible.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah.
And I love the challenge. So
I love it.
Yeah. And the more I do it, I do break away from, and I play with certain ingredients now just because it's working in the culinary world. You want to create something, and there's some really interesting products out there nowadays you can use to infuse that don't really change, actually just make a nicer product.
Love it.
And just pull it all together. But anyways, we're getting off topic. We want people to go out there and enjoy some really nice fresh food right now.
Indeed.
We don't want people having to crank their ovens up to 500 degrees for 6 hours so they can bake something. We're just saying, get out there, really enjoy this weather. Make sure
our local businesses.
Support our local businesses. Remember to keep hydrated out there. We want you all to be good and feeling good and really enjoy the sun out there as much as you possibly can. So
amazing. Well, I love it. And ending it on that, amazing. I love that. And when we step out of this gorgeous 98.9 Jet FM air-conditioned studio, we're going to feel it. So thanks again to the Jet. We are using their studio, and what a wonderful group of people they are. And thank you very much indeed. And we're looking forward to this partnership.
That's right. And we're looking forward to getting guests in here.
Absolutely.
So we've got an extra mic up here on the wall. And we're going to get some extra cameras just so if you want to be on camera, if you don't, that's cool. We're cool with that. But we just want to get in here and learn some stories of some of the chefs, some of the farmers, the food producers in our area. And we want to be able to share their stories with everyone out there. So
100%. All right. Well, that's it for the Edible Valley podcast for this fortnight. We will see you in a couple of weeks, or maybe a little bit longer, because it is the holidays, and I'm off to party. I'm turning 40, by the way.
Oh, so yeah, getting old. Well,
party up. Yeah, getting old. So, but we will see you in about 3 to 4 weeks, and have a wonderful one and enjoy this hot weather. It looks like it's going to go on and on.
All right. Thanks for listening to the Edible Valley podcast.
Cheers. Rin din 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 din.
I don't know.